Welcome back for another Trekyards Fact Files, the straight to the point, facts in your face about a piece of Trek Tech Trekyard show. Wow, try saying that 10 times fast. We lay out all the details and facts on technology from the Star Trek universe that might not have enough info for a complete Trekyards episode, and we do it all in 5 minutes or less if possible. Today's topic is an explosive one, as we will be looking at photon torpedoes.
The Photon torpedo was developed as a tactical weapon that could be used while a starship is travelling at warp, a situation in which phasers are useless. As it turns out, Klingons had the style of weapon developed as early as the mid-22nd century, much sooner than the humans, who at the time were using more primitive, spatial and early photonic torpedoes, which eventually developed into the more modern photon we all know today.
Yes, we puny humans first developed our photon torpedoes in 2215, and not until 2268 were they standard issue aboard ships. The photon torpedo took some time to fully develop. Casings and delivery systems were in place early in the 23rd century, but the first models had a limited range of around 750,000 kilometers and produced a relatively low explosive yield. So in the early years of their use, they were primarily used as defensive weapons.
Later models had a range of 4,050,000 kilometers when fired from a starship at warp. If launched from a stationary or sub-warp ship, the torpedo would never reach warp 1 and therefore could not reach as far. Its range could be extended, however, but seeing how this draws fuel from the matter-antimatter tanks, this can only be done at the expense of the torpedo's overall destructive power.
The torpedo's explosive power comes from matter-antimatter packets, which are usually delivered at warp speed by a small matter-antimatter fuel cell, then thrust together to cause an explosion. As a safety measure, the matter-antimatter are only mixed after launch has been achieved. They are mixed during flight in a special combiner tank while still being separated from each other in their own magnetic packets. Mixing takes a minimum of 1.02 seconds, so the travel time from launch to target must always be more than a second for the warhead to be ready to detonate.
The torpedo has a lozenge-shaped casing made of a moulded gamma-expanded uranium and a plasma-bonded terminium outer skin. Casings generally measured 2.1 by 0.76 by 0.45 meters and weigh in at 186.7 kilograms.
When used as a weapon, the torpedo contains explosive material, target acquisition and guidance sensors, detonation assemblies, and a warp speed sustainer drive. Due to the small size of the warp sustainer, it is not in fact considered a true warp engine and is more accurately described as a matter-antimatter fuel cell. If the torpedo is launched at warp speed, the sustainer coils in the fuel cell acquire warp velocity from the torpedo tube itself. Most later torpedoes also included deflector shields of their own and had the ability to be programmed with different frequency modulations, which, if matched to the opponent's shields, could pass right through and cause maximum damage to the ship's hull.
As mentioned earlier, the matter-antimatter is carried aboard the torpedo in tiny magnetic packets. This increases the effective contact area upon interaction by 3 orders of magnitude over the same amount of matter-antimatter carried in larger chunks. Torpedoes carried a maximum of 1.5 kilograms of antimatter, but the use of these packets yields greater destructive power, greater even than caused by a Galaxy-class's antimatter pod rupture. Most torpedoes were used as heavy hitters to cause maximum damage only after opponents' shields were already dropped by direct fire from energy-based weapons such as phasers or disruptors. In fact, many torpedoes had at least 16 different preset levels for a variety of warhead yields.
Starships carry a large stock of torpedo casings. A Galaxy-class ship, for example, carries 275 casings, all of which can be configured in multiple configurations. Not always used as a weapon, they are regularly fitted with sensor arrays to act as sensor decoys, probes, and can even be reinforced to penetrate rock formations to help in terraforming operations. And of course, on very sad occasions, empty casings have been used as coffins for deep space funerals.
And we'll leave you with one very fun fact. On a Galaxy-class starship, torpedoes are loaded 4 at a time, and each launcher was capable of firing up to 10 photon torpedoes simultaneously.
Okay, guys, that's it for this episode of Facts in 5. Please be sure to watch all of our past episodes on YouTube or even on our site at trekyards.com. Also, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our Patreon page. As always, if you think we missed something or want to add your own bit of torpedo knowledge, please include it in the comments section below. We look forward to reading them. Until next time, this is Captain Foley
And Commander Cockins.
signing off.